Reignite your intuition to grow your intuitive self. This is the episode where I talk about female pleasure and Women's Day on March 8th. My name is Angela and I'm your host of the show and a highly intuitive person by birth who never lost her connection. I am the expert in supporting you regaining your intuition and living a fulfilled and much easier life with it. Trusting fully your intuition takes time and is a very individual process. I share with you my knowledge and strategies I have developed to support yourself on a daily basis in any situation. By signing up to my freebie, you can support yourself to connect with your intuition. Go to angelahack.com, podcast and English, there you'll find the link. I don't know if you have heard of the movie Female Pleasure. I must admit, the moment when I read the title, I was like, oh my goodness, another movie which is saying poor women, men are so bad, blah, 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 blah. That was my very, very first thought. And then I realized, oh, well, in March is Women's Day, and so it's important that we are important, and then we can go back to a whole Me Too thing, and then we're all over the place with things that I'm not sure if I want to think/talk about. Of course, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that whatever happened to people, not only women, very often bad things happen to boys and men as well, have to be ignored or accepted. But screaming out loud does not help to change something. It helps to get attention for a bit, but changes start within our families, changes start how we treat ourselves and others. And no, it's not only how we treat others, it's mainly how we treat ourselves, how we look at ourselves, how we feel like we want to change something about ourselves. So let's go back to Female Pleasure. I decided to go for a lunch movie. Went there, I think it was weekend, and I remember I was surprised that a lot of elderly couples were sitting there, and I was one of the only woman went there, and I was not sure what am I expecting. So I decided, keep an open heart, keep an open mind, have a look. And again, I really have an issue with this whoa, woman against man thing. I was absolutely shocked in certain areas of the movie of the simplicity, honesty, and mainly ignorance surrounding others. Those stories are not just now opening up, but now we have the power, now we have the butt to show them. And what I really appreciate in the movie, absolutely nowhere was it mentioned that men are the idiots. It was definitely shown that in a lot of our world religions, even in one that I was surprised, the Buddhism, is not going for women, okay? And I'm still a little bit concerned that this is ridiculous in what's written in church books. And people very often ask me, are you religious? Do you believe? And I'm like, yeah, I am totally a believer, but I'm absolutely not religious. Because whatever gets dictated from somewhere was dictated by a person. I love the fact that there is women out there who fight for their rights, being aware to have their whole life in jeopardy, to be aware that they might be killed. And it's not fighting for a woman. It's not, oh, woman this, woman that. It's fighting for humanity. And this is exactly the change of it. We have to stop saying, hey, this is man, hey, this is woman. In general, we have to fight for humanity and for consciousness. And with the new medias, with television, with movies, with internet, with everything, we are so fast in letting people know about things. So please make sure that we use it and let us talk about it and not like, he touched her butt, that's so bad. No, that's not how it works. It's, why do you do that? Who gives you the right to do that? it might sound naive right now saying, yeah, talk to them. And I remember reading newspaper right after New Year's Eve in Switzerland. It was beginning January, and a young Swiss girl was in Vienna, young lady, I'm not sure how old, I don't remember that much. And somehow someone touched her several times, and she several times asked him to stop it. And at point X, she turned around, hit him that hard, he broke his nose. Yes, I like it. No, that's not helpful for the future, but in the moment, I totally agree with her. She's well aware that she's in trouble now because she hit him. And a broken nose is proof that she hit him hard. But still, she turned around, she stood straight up for her. But the point is more, why did nobody else around reacted? Why don't we react if someone gets touched? And I'm still, again, not just talking about women and girls. It is all over the world against others, and it's nothing to do what gender you are. It has to do with respect, what lack of respect is just around. So it is very, very important that we become aware of things. And I totally suggest that everyone in this world has to watch Female Pleasure, and then it has to be discussed. I know that certain cultures have a hard time to become more connected or more aware of these things, but we all have to become more human again. I always say humanity is the most stupid living in this world, because we are so stupid that we destroy ourselves. And this is actually part of destroying ourselves. Instead of being within each other in a cooperative way, in a respectful way, and mainly, again, in a conscious way, then we don't get it. The point is, if I don't feel myself, if I'm not conscious about who I am, how the hell can I handle the rest of the world? And it is a hurry-up world. It is not an easy world. But I love it. I love it to death, and I love all the humans on it. And I really, really, really think blaming others doesn't work, but showing by being an example, by talking to others. And wait a second, I'm not saying you tell them your opinion and that's it. Talking to others means trying to be as less judging while talking, explaining situations as neutral as possible, and explain others how you felt in certain situations. When I was a young girl, I must have been around 13, the topic of HIV was very, 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 very all over the place. So my school invited some people who had HIV and asked them, they came for interviews, which they were sitting in front of class. We could ask them everything. And lucky me, I had parents who talk about it very, very openly, very clearly. I had some questions that they couldn't answer, so they went with me to a place where I could ask them and they could answer properly. And I remember we spoke to these people, and I have a high respect to the situation they were in, because they opened up the fact that they had an illness that back then was still like scary and people had no idea how to deal with. And they spoke about it. And that's what I'd love to have about the topic of women, female pleasure, about men, about how we act and react with each other, etc. And I really think this would be absolutely important. But therefore we have to open up. And a friend of mine, a dear, dear friend of mine, she says sexuality starts with self-love. Sexuality has nothing to do with sex itself. It has to do with self-love. There it starts. And from there on, further on, you go. I really wish for everyone to watch the movie Female Pleasure. It's a low-budget movie, by the way. All honest stories. I know there is people out there, if they even listen to my podcast, they hate me for what I'm saying. But all I want to bring is more consciousness, respect, and humanity in this world. And I'd love to hear certain people saying, I'm a female-preneur. And I'm not going against men. I just live my life and go further. And by watching me doing what I do, people want to follow me. But please get out of this man against woman, woman against man. Why don't we do us together, become more conscious about each other, and enjoy the fact how beautiful it is that we have each other. Are you ready for reignition? Yes, then go to angelaheck.com, choose podcast and sign up for the freebie, or just book a 30-minute free call with me to find out if you are really ready. Thank you for listening to Reignite Your Intuition. If you like my podcast, come back, tell others, share, comment, whatever you feel like, let them know how great it is.